I changed my life in 6 months, and here's how I did it. You see, I had all of these goals that I wanted to achieve, but I couldn't get there. I wanted to make more money. I wanted to be in better shape. I wanted to improve my discipline, my habits, and I just wanted to do more. I wanted to be more. But now in the last 6 months, my life completely changed. I went from a place of not being able to achieve those goals that I had set for myself to living a completely different life, and I'm going to show you how. So let's get straight into how you can change your life and achieve that transformation that you've always wanted in the next 6 months. Part number 1, the decision that changed everything. There's a quote that I really love, and it goes like this: I am not a product of my circumstances. I am a product of my decisions. You see, I've been uploading videos on this channel for a while and no results for a long time. But I had to make the change. I had to take the risk and go all in. And that is when I left uni. That is when I left everything behind to focus on my dream right here. So me and my best friend from high school, we joined forces, we got together, we locked in, and we just did everything we could to get to the next step. And that was the decision before everything changed, because 6 months ago, I wasn't willing to take that leap of faith. I wasn't willing to do the things that I wasn't comfortable with. And that is why I had the same results. That is why I wasn't seeing exponential progress. For such a long time, I knew that I had to take the leap. I knew that I had to make it happen, but I wasn't really willing to commit 100%. I was willing to go 50%, 60%, and sometimes on my good days, 70%. But it was not until I decided to give it my all, I decided to go all in, to lock in, to put my mind to nothing else besides the goal that I wanted to achieve. And in the process, I became better. In the process, I improved. In the process, I started to see the results that I've always dreamt of. And now I'm literally living my dream life. I couldn't have wished for any other life that I'm living right now, for a better life, because this is it, and I'm grateful. And the reason that I'm here is just simply because I was able to look myself in the mirror, to take myself seriously, and just be like, this is it, man. We are gonna make this happen. We are gonna take things to the next step, and this is it. This is the moment that everything changes. There's another quote that really changed my life: the water doesn't get any warmer the later you jump. Now, part number 2, the slowing down phase. And now after the phase where things started to show, this is the deciding factor. You see, there's always the initial phase, the transition phase, I like to call it. And then after that phase, that is when you start to feel this negative doubt. You start to overthink about certain things, how things are going to happen. And you're just in your head. And that is the point where most people, they actually quit. That is the point where most people, they just can't continue. But I was able to look at the long vision, and I was able to continue. I was able to have my eye on the ball and keep wanting and being hungry for change, being driven to do better, to be better, and to achieve more. And that's where I started keeping on locking in my habits, discipline, the consistency. And I was just, every day I would wake up and I'd be like, I want to be so clear on my day. I want to wake up and just do everything right from the beginning so that I can win the morning. And if I win the morning, I know that I'm going to win the day. If I win the day, I win the week, then I win the month, then I win the year, then I win my whole life. You see, a successful 6 months starts with the very smallest thing you can do, the next action you can take tomorrow morning. As soon as the morning starts, that is when everything starts. And that is when you actually have a chance to change a lot about your life. You see, big change doesn't happen on that scale. The 6 month, huge result, huge transformation, it starts before that. It starts with the micro decisions you make on a day-to-day basis. These decisions that just cast in votes for either your future identity, the successful guy who is where you want to be, or the same person you've been so far. Now, every bad decision you make, every bad habit, every time you procrastinate and you scroll, you're casting a vote for the old identity. And every time you win, every time you stack small wins and you do things that you know you had to do to get to the next step, you were consistent, you worked for 4 hours without getting distracted, without opening your phone. And that is the final form. That is the best version of yourself. And the more actions you take that align with that version, the more votes you're casting. And eventually you just have to stack up enough evidence and votes for the person you want to be instead of the person that you've been so far. You see, there's a quote that goes like this: the dip is the long stretch between starting and mastery, and that is where most people quit. Your life progress is going to be like this. It's going to be up and down and up and down, and eventually you're going to plateau. You're going to have the dip. Whether or not you quit during that moment, whether or not you keep going, that is what is going to decide your future. You see, I'm a firm believer in working less and achieving more. And you might ask, doesn't that contradict discipline? I think it is discipline. Discipline isn't just willpower and pushing yourself. It is just simply having the systems, being smart about your time, being efficient, knowing that if your energy and effort is put into the right place, that it will compound exponentially. And that is exactly what I teach inside my community, Discipline OS. The whole point is to create those systems, to master those frameworks so that you can see the results, so you can stay consistent with your habits, with your work, with your distractions. You can stay focused and disciplined without having to slip up and burn out and go through the same cycles over again. And that is where systems come in. Systems make it so that even on your worst day, even on the bad days, you can still perform. Everything in life has phases. You gotta understand that. You have phases where you're super motivated, phases where you're super demotivated, phases where you feel like everything is figured out, and phases where you don't. Now I'm gonna give you some examples and actionable steps that you can implement into your life today. So number one is slow down, but actually do more. Really take some time to analyze your inputs versus your outputs. You don't have to worry about your outputs because those are things you can't control. But if you just sit down and ask yourself, how am I spending my time? That 4 hours I call deep work in the afternoon, what am I actually doing during that time? How do I actually spend the hours of my day? Taking out a journal like this and writing down all of your inputs. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, how is every single hour spent? What are you doing? And you have to monitor relentlessly, because that is the art of slowing down but achieving more. You see, if you know your inputs and you know where your time is going, you know the things that you're doing, then you can always adapt and optimize and just get to the next step without having to do too much while seeing not enough results. And the second actionable step is think more. Don't rush. Any amount of doubt is just going to bring down your dreams. You have to eliminate doubt, remove doubt. Your mind has to only be positive self-talk. You should only be encouraging yourself and saying things like, yo, I got this. I'm on the right track. I just need to lock in more. I'm focused. I know I've done this before. I can do it again. Instead of negative self-talk, which is just full of doubt, insecurities, things that aren't really going to help you. So things that are going to change your life in the next 6 months is monitoring your inputs versus your outputs, slowing down to achieve more, understanding yourself, understanding why you do what you do, how you spend every single hour of your time, mastering productivity, time management, and also the most important thing, discipline. The way you build lasting discipline over time, which is going to make the difference between the life you have now and the life you know you want to live, is by simply taking daily steps in action that signal to your brain that we won. This was a win. This was something I challenged myself to do, and I was able to keep my promise, keep my word, and stacking up that self-trust, that self-confidence, that belief that you know you're capable of achieving great things. And that level of discipline just starts from micro commitments on a micro scale. If you're able to wake up and say you're going to do something, even if it's as small as making a coffee or even if it's as small as making your bed, but you're able to say it and then do it as well, that is self-belief, that is trust, that is discipline. When you know that you have to make a change and you have to reverse bad habits and get to where you want to be, and you actually start taking action that aligns with that dream, that aligns with where you want to be, that is discipline. And practicing discipline every day is going to make you that person, that disciplined person who is able to achieve what you want to achieve and get to where you want to be. And the reason why I didn't slack off, the reason why I was able to stay consistent most of the time is due to just accountability, the community I run as well. It holds me accountable too. And in general, I'm just the guy that talks about discipline. I'm that guy. So I can't go against my word. And you need to have that same level of accountability towards your goals. You see, I have systems in place that help me when I'm feeling my lowest, when I'm not feeling good, when I'm feeling unproductive and lazy and like the bad habits are about to creep in. I have systems that catch me at that level and bring me back up. And I also have the self-accountability, the external accountability, and just all these systems working in harmony that just give you this fundamentally unbreakable and unbeatable system that gets you the success, that gets you the consistency, and gets you the life that you know you deserve. Now, part number 3, the systems that made my transformation inevitable. So number 1, we are going to do a weekly non-negotiable review. You see, what you don't monitor, what you don't track, you can't optimize. If there is dust in your room, but you don't know where the dust is, how can you clean it? And in the same way, the success that you want to build is like laying bricks of a house. You see, to build a house, you first have to start laying bricks. But when you lay 10 bricks, 20 bricks, it doesn't even look like a house. And you're probably not going to be able to see the big picture. Slowly and slowly, the more bricks you lay, the more you see something start to form. And then you have the house, you have, half the structure. You have something that is being built. And you just keep laying bricks until you get the final product and the final house. And even though you probably can't see the house until you have a lot of bricks in place, it doesn't mean that each individual brick is not worth it. You see, every step counts. Every win counts. Every brick that you lay towards building the house, which is, in this metaphor, your dream, that 100% counts and it really matters. So doing this weekly non-negotiable review where every Sunday you just review these things. Number 1, what I said I would do. Number 2, what I actually did. And number 3, what gets fixed next week. You see, no emotions, no judgment, nothing like that, just the truth. And why does this actually work? Because you're building self-accountability first. You're putting your own life in your own hands. And the second thing is it turns vague effort into measurable progress. So doing weekly non-negotiable reviews where you just analyze everything you did in the week, every time you spent, every action you took, and also the things you had in mind at the beginning of the week. At the start of the week, what goals did you set for yourself? What did you expect yourself to do? What did you promise yourself? And did you follow through? Did you do those things? Tracking that every single week is going to change your life. Number 2, the second concept I want to share with you is the proof of work rule. So this goes like this. You are not allowed to consume content until you produce something first. This is a rule that will change your life, because consumption is usually the thing that is taking away from your effort, your energy, your mental space. Things like scrolling, things like consuming without intent, these things are time wasters. For example, if you want to scroll, sure, just scroll after you've trained. It's a reward system for a reason. The reward has to come after effort, not before. You see, if reward is the default, then your brain gets confused. So train, do the things you have to do the work, and then watch a movie. Do everything you have to do, go for the run, read, meditate, journal, do your daily tasks, and then reward yourself at the end of a long day. And this forces action during low motivation phases. We talked about how there are many phases, good phases, bad phases, and this just rewires and rebuilds your reward system to know that after every effort comes reward. And it also tells your brain that reward cannot come first. You cannot reward yourself for nothing. You have to reward yourself. You have to have real dopamine in your life from actual productive and effort-driven things. And you see, once I shifted from just consuming all the time to actually creating, to making videos, to doing things and creating in my own life, I started to see myself in a different way. And I actually needed to start surrounding myself with people who were building too. And this takes us to the last and most important part of this entire video. This is becoming part of a group, joining masterminds, joining a community, because this is going to change your life. And it doesn't have to be my community, it can be any community. But basically, you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you want to level up and get to the next step, you need to surround yourself with people who are going to take you there. Now, changing your life in 6 months is 100% possible, but without the right time management, you're just going to be spending your time in all the wrong ways, and you're not going to be able to make sustainable progress towards your goal. And that is where time management just comes in and saves the day. And that's why I made 2 videos about time management that you can watch over here. So take care, and you got this.